lots of social media reports are suggesting that Kylian Mbappe is unhappy again in France. Let's find out more about that as we say hello and good afternoon to our French football expert, Julien Laurens. Julien, hello, good afternoon.
Hello, boys.
Bonjour to you. So what do you know? Because I was saying to Benty at the top of the show that usually when news breaks on social media, I sort of look at it and go, not really. But everyone seems to be talking about this over the last 90 minutes or so.
Yeah, and as often in those kind of stories, especially the big ones, you get briefed or you get someone let you know that this is happening and exactly how someone is feeling. And in this case, it's Kylian Mbappe, and now it's confirmed pretty much everywhere that he wants to leave the club in January. That he's not happy, as you said. Again, you're right. That he feels that all the promises that PSG made him, or made to him, I don't know how you say in English, when he signed that new deal back in May, that was only 5 months ago, they haven't kept. So he's not happy by his positioning, he's not happy by the recruitment, he's not happy with Neymar, he's not happy by a lot of things. So he wants to leave in January.
Julian, you said that he's not happy with a lot of things, but when he signed this contract, isn't he in charge a lot of that, or he's got some kind of say when it comes to recruitment, who the manager is, or was that all fake news?
Yeah, I think we made a bit too much out of that. Basically,
I think he's gone. Julien?
Project at the heart of the project. I think a lot of people then thought that he would be running the club, or his father would be running the club, which is not the case. They said to him, we're going to sign a proper number 9, like a focal point, a pivot that will play with you. You will play behind him, you and Messi, because Neymar is going to be sold. So you will have the freedom that you like, playing your favorite position, and all is going to be great. He said, okay, no problem, that sounds great. The fact is, the number 9 hasn't been signed. He's not playing in his favorite position, which is behind the striker, next to Messi, for example, because now he is the striker. He has to be that focal point and the pivot because there's nobody else. And Neymar, by the way, is still there. And Neymar and Messi are playing the best football of their lives. And Kylian feels like, okay, this should have been me and it's not me. So you can find that petty, of course. You can find that childish. You can have sympathy for him or no sympathy for him. But certainly he was told that he would play in a different position that he's playing now. I mean, there's worse position than playing ahead of, just above Neymar and Messi. And it's not Bolton and Sam Allardyce either and hoofing the ball. But it's not what he was told that would happen.
Julian, do they get on, Neymar and Mbappe? Because you just said that he's got the hump because he feels that should be him combining with Messi. But do Neymar and Mbappe get on?
They used to, they used to be really, really good mates. And now it's a kind of a love-hate relationship. It's hot and cold. And Kylian said it the other day when we asked him the question. He said it's sometimes hot, sometimes cold. Right now I can tell you it's freezing. It's cold, and I don't know if it's jealousy between them. Certainly, Neymar felt when Kylian signed a new deal that the club was giving him too much. Kylian felt that, especially last season under Pochettino, where discipline didn't exist, it was non-existent, that Neymar was taking too many liberties and doing what he wanted and being late and all that kind of stuff. So already that created tension between them because they were both looking at each other saying, I kind of don't like what you have, I don't like what you do, and that's never good. Even if you don't have to love all your teammates, between the two of the 3 superstars, if there's tension, it's not a good sign.
Okay. Just finally as well, Julien, whatever I read in the newspaper, I take sometimes with a pinch of salt. There are reports suggesting, I don't know how true it is, that Erling Haaland has got in his contract that he has a release clause for £200 million that kicks in next season, can only be sold to foreign clubs. Do you think if that is true, and what you're saying about Kylian Mbappe is true, that PSG may try and hold on to him and then do some kind of deal with Man City if he wants to leave? I know I'm talking so far in advance, but these things sometimes do happen in football.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think the next few months until January, and by the way, PSG are saying right now he's not going to go anywhere in January. We don't care what he says now. It's not going to move in January. So that would be interesting as well. But it would also be interesting to see what club come for him, because remember, last summer, he would have been on a free. Now, if PSG eventually say, okay, you can go, but it will cost 200 million, then who can afford Kylian Mbappe at 200 million right now? Would Real Madrid, who thought they had him on a free, would spend that money on him, knowing that they might get Haaland the following summer? I'm not sure. What would City and Liverpool do, for example? What would Italian clubs do? Barcelona? Can Barcelona, I don't know, sell a new lever and get the money to sign Mbappe? I don't know. Bayern Munich, they need a striker, but he doesn't want to play in that position. So all of that, so much happening between them two. I don't think, for example, Real Madrid could afford them both, but maybe they can. I mean, imagine Haaland and Mbappe in the same team. That would be pretty special. So,
that'd just be game over, wouldn't it, for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, that would be scary thought if you're a defender. So I don't know. It would be fascinating for sure.
Julian, you said there, listen, we know Mbappe is a top player, but there always seems to be these stories about him being unhappy, upset in the dressing room. Now, listen, is it worth the reward of maybe one of these top clubs trying to get him to their football club, even though he comes with all this baggage?
It's a good question, and I think it's a great question. I think this is part of the problem or the issue. If you are a big club right now and you're thinking about it, you say, okay, you have to take everything in consideration. He's a great kid, really. The family is good. He's so intelligent. He's so good. He's so ambitious. I think all those reactions also come with that. And I think for the talent that he has, you take it. And there's better ways to deal with it. I think PSG, as much as you know, is my club, they haven't always been as truthful to him, I think, as they should have. And I can understand his frustration right now. I think maybe 5 months after signing such a big deal it's a bit too much from him to want to leave in January, but I can understand his frustration. And I don't think the club has dealt with him and the whole situation as well as they should. So maybe another club could do better, because I don't think he really caused that much problem. It's just, this is the new generation. He's so talented, so ambitious. He knows what he wants. And if he feels like the club is not taking the right direction, not going to the right direction, not doing the right things, then he will voice his concerns.
Très bien, Julien. Thank you so much for coming on.
Merci, boys.
And je vous triangule de pêche. Have a good one. Thanks, pal. Oh, he's gone.
What are you talking about?
That's the only sentence I know in French.
You even said bonjour at the start. I looked in there, no one even clocked it.
Nonsense.
At the end, I said I would like a kilo of peaches as well. Je veux un kilo de pêche. That's the only French sentence I know.
You said to him, what you want? What does it mean?
I would like a kilo of peaches, just as he left. he didn't say anything as well. Thanks, Julien. Je veux un kilo de pêche.